A girl really does need a guy to explain it all to her.
You go, girl.
You go, girl.
From the man that brought you the greatest superhero movie of all time, X-Men: The Dark Phoenix, comes a spy thriller that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. It's like watching Mission Impossible, James Bond, and John Wick mixed in a blender, but with chicks. And nowhere near as good. It's called The 355, starring Jessica Chastain, Penelope Cruz, a very popular Chinese actress whose name I can't pronounce that was included so that the studio can meet China's requirements to show this movie in China, Diane Kruger, and the new 007 chick from No Time to Die. This diverse cast team up in this diverse spy thriller where this wacky gang of unlikely spies must learn to work together and stop this guy from getting his hands on a top secret weapon that can hack and control pretty much anything. The 355 doesn't have anything to say, and that's fine. Not every movie needs to make an impact by trying to be meaningful and carry some sort of message. I don't think anyone watched Godzilla vs. Kong because they expected some sort of meta commentary about how animal experimentation is bad and can turn lizards into nuclear-infused mutant dinosaurs. Sometimes you just want to watch a movie with an interesting cast and some cool action sequences. But in the 355's case, these cool action sequences are very bland. And that's my main issue with the 355, but I'll talk a little bit about that later. The thing is, the movie's blandness isn't just in the fight scenes. They somehow managed to integrate this blandness into every other aspect of the movie. The story is filled with cliches, predictable plot twists, and even some pacing issues. There are a lot of issues with the 355. It seems like it's trying to be a Mission Impossible / Charlie's Angels type of movie, but without the effort of what makes these movies enjoyable to watch. What worked about the old Charlie's Angels movies, not the reboot, is the chicks had great chemistry. It had this spy action comedy vibe that got popular after the first Austin Powers movie. It didn't take itself too seriously, which was really different from what we're used to with the more serious James Bond movies. But with the 355, they took out the comedy from the spy action comedy genre and took a much more serious direction, which just didn't work for me. And also Sebastian Stan, aka the Winter Soldier, was there for some reason, and he didn't seem like he even wanted to be in the movie. Before I dive in, make sure to hit that like button as it helps out the video get shown to more people, and subscribe and hit the bell notification icon for more content. Now, I can't talk about this without getting into some minor spoilers, so you have been warned. Let's talk about the movie's main issue, the fight scenes. The movie goes from one action scene to the next, but the action isn't even good. In a previous video, I've talked about how Matrix Resurrections has some pretty bad action scenes because of heavy camera cuts, but Jesus Christ, this movie takes it to a whole other level. It's a challenge to catch a glimpse of what's going on during the fight scenes. There are a lot of camera cuts and like a ridiculous amount of shaky camera effects. And it makes some of the fights pretty tough to follow. I know the whole shaky camera effect has a reputation for hiding bad choreography, but I don't think that's always the case. Look at this scene from Captain America Winter Soldier. This is what this scene looks like when you're watching the movie as is with the shaky camera effect. Now watch a behind the scenes shot where the effect is completely removed. If this scene was shown with the same intense music but from a wide camera shot instead, I would have much preferred that over what we ended up getting. Which brings me to the 355. I felt like in some cases the fight choreography is actually pretty good, but I couldn't tell because I don't know what's going on. But it wasn't just the fight choreography that was bland. Let's look at this action scene where Mary fights Mace. The point of that scene was to build a sort of rivalry between the two and show how they're both on a similar level in terms of abilities. What makes it so uninteresting though is neither of them are really doing anything different. It's not like one of them has a different fighting style or has some sort of advantage over the other. Maybe you'd think, well, that's maybe the point of that scene. But let's look at this fight from the third John Wick movie. John Wick is fighting this massive dude, and when it comes to a pure one-on-one brawl, he's clearly at a disadvantage. So Keanu has to think of of how he's gonna use the environment to take this massive guy down without any guns. This makes for a really entertaining fight where Keanu uses a giant ass encyclopedia to take the guy down. And that's the thing, when two characters fighting are exactly the same, you're not really showing anything interesting. I understand the idea that you can put two characters against each other that are supposed to be on the same level. For example, if two characters in a movie had the same trainer or the same master. Like how Batman and Bane in The Dark Knight Rising were both trained by the League of Shadows. Or in the movie The One, where Jet Li fights Jet Li. But in those movies, even though both Batman and Bane were trained by the League of Shadows, Bane is bigger and stronger and uses that to his advantage to beat Batman in their first fight in the movie. While in the movie The One, Jet Li fighting Jet Li still worked because good guy Jet Li had a different fighting style from bad guy Jet Li. Even though they're trying to make the point that the characters of Diane Kruger and Jessica Chastain are equals, you still need to show some difference in their abilities to differentiate them. And that's another problem I have with these characters. Most of the characters in the 355 have like the same abilities. The chick from the new 007 is supposed to be the tech geek, but she's also a good fighter. Diane Kruger is a field agent, and she's also a good fighter. Jessica Chastain is a field agent, and plot twist, she's also a good fighter. The popular Chinese actress, whose name I can't pronounce, that was included so that the studio can meet China's requirements to show this movie in China, is also a good fighter. Apart from Penelope Cruz, they all seem to have pretty similar abilities. So what's the point of having different characters in the team if you have the same capabilities? What's different about each character? That Diane Kruger can speak French and the rest of them can't? I understand that maybe it's a possibility that the cast didn't have that much training to show some super cool action fights. But then if that's the case, why bother making the movie at all? Isn't that the entire point of this movie? To show cool fight scenes with chicks. I want to make it clear that I don't hate the main cast. They did a good job for the roles that they were given, except the Winter Soldier. He was just there. He was just there to look good. He was just there so when they're advertising the movie, people would go, "Oh my god, one of the Marvel characters is in it? You know it's gonna be a good one." The 355 is a bland, boring, uninspired movie that doesn't have anything to say. It exists to be the Walmart version of a Charlie's Angels / Mission Impossible movie. It exists because Universal Studios needed content and thought a mid-tier budget action movie starring diverse women kicking ass would look great in their slate of movies in 2022. I think there's a big gap in Hollywood right now where there isn't really a popular female-led action spy kind of movie. At least not that I'm aware of, where you have like a team of spies, kind of like Charlie's Angels back in the day, not counting the reboot. For some reason, they've tried doing a bunch of these and they've all failed. They've tried it with Ocean's 8, the Charlie's Angels reboot, and they also had a female-led Ghostbusters, and none of them really resonated with a lot of people. It seems like the closest that we've gotten so far is Atomic Blonde, but that was more like a female John Wick kind of movie, and it was a lot more focused on just one character as opposed to a team of characters. But anyway, what do you guys think of this movie? Are you guys gonna even bother watching it? Let me know in the comment sections below. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe and hit the bell notification icon for more content, and thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.